All right, so I've made a transformation on myself, and it was one of the hardest, most fulfilling journeys that I've ever taken in my life of not understanding why I hated life so much. It sucked. It was terrible. I was working at a job that I didn't want to work at. I was studying something in school that I didn't really care about. I didn't care about myself. I didn't understand why I couldn't care about myself when to everybody else it just looked so easy. And I know that it isn't for everybody, and that's why I'm making this video now. As documentation, I have a clip from around 3 years ago when I first started this journey and I started acknowledging these problems that I had. And I remember the first time that I watched this clip, I just broke down in tears. I'm pretty good about reading people, understanding people, being empathetic towards others. And when I could start reading my own body language, and I was like, oh, wow, I'm holding so much pain and trauma that I just wasn't dealing with. And I started loving myself more. If you want to love yourself more and turn your life around, here we go. What if I told you you could make the greatest comeback of your life? I'm talking LeBron James down 3-1, Tom Brady down 28-3. If that's where you're at right now, strap in. It's going to get good. I am the light. I am the way. I am the door. I'm the truth. Before Abraham was, I am. I look at the universe that I see before me and all of the light that it is, and I align with that instead of just looking at this body that I'm always looking at from and seeing the way that the better I feel about myself, the better the light looks to me. The more that magic happens, the more that I look at seemingly undesirable circumstances and I assume that the best is working out for me, and somehow, some way, the universe always comes through and just looks out for me. I see so much light and love in the world that even when things might not seem like they're going the way that they need to, I understand that it's all working out in divine timing. I don't know why I'm supposed to make these videos that I make, but I know that I'm put here for a reason, that constantly, every day, no matter what I'm doing, I'm always living in my purpose. That being as I am is what I'm meant to do. Being as I am in love and joy, and when I feel a sense of discomfort and I feel a sense of unease, and I can sit with that feeling and I know that that feeling is a part of me and still love myself through that uncomfortability until it goes away and all I'm left with is love. And that's something that I've been struggling a lot with over the course of my life. Loving myself through those times where I just feel so full of pain and wanting to numb that with weed, with alcohol, with porn, with whatever it is. I would go through my own life living as though it was a burden on me instead of a lovely experience to be engaged with at all times, to be well aware in every circumstance that I'm coming through and doing my best and everything is working out in my favor. And instead of now thinking back on how negative things used to be or how negative the future might be, right? I look at how grateful I am in the present moment to be here now as I always am. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. And all we have is the present moment. To take previous ideas that we've held, like bad decisions that we made in the past, and say, oh, that was a bad decision. I should have made this decision. And in the future, I'm going to make better decisions. That takes away from the present moment because you're using the past to try to dictate the future, and neither of those things exist, but in your imagination. Now, if you imagine that presently you're living your life as the best life that you could possibly live, well, then that's the best thing that you could possibly do, is being present and loving everything about the present moment. And then when those kinds of decisions that you might reflect on in the past as bad decisions, or the kinds of decisions that you hope to make in the future that are better decisions than the ones that you've made in the past. When you're living presently and constantly loving the present moment, when the decisions that you need to make that are going to be the most valuable for you arise in that present moment, you're going to be ready for it because you're the most aware of how much love you can bring to yourself in any given one moment. The time that we spend thinking about what it could have been or what it should have been is a time where you're entangling yourself in insane amounts of quantum mechanics, trying to jump through timelines, that it's a lot easier just to accept what it is now instead of trying to make it to where you make a time machine to go somewhere else to try to make it better there. When even if you did have the opportunity to do that, by the time that you get everything fixed up, you're still stuck in the present moment thinking to yourself, oh man, it could be even better. And now you're chasing ghosts. You're chasing ghosts thinking that they're going to be able to make it better. When really, the power is with you. There's no power outside of yourself. There's nothing else that's going to make it better. There's nothing else that's going to put you at ease until you decide that you're going to be put at ease, that you're going to be living an authentic life full of light, love, peace, bliss, joy, fulfillment, and prosperity. And I always hammer that home for myself, right? And it's a lot easier said than done until it's easier done than it is said. And you really got to harp on that, as I used to believe that illusory beliefs. I wasn't good enough in the present moment, and there was something that I needed to work towards in a higher regard instead of being grateful for where I'm at, because we're not promised the future. It's not real. We're not promised even the past beliefs and judgments that we've made on it. Because in the day of judgment, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Our life is exactly what we make of it in the present moment. Take everything with love. Every moment that you have with the people that you love and care about, make sure that you don't end any interaction on an unhappy note. End everything and treat everything with love, because everything that isn't that is just an illusion. It's just a belief that you're not getting the love that you should be getting, and you want to dole that same ideology onto somebody else because it's familiar. It makes the most sense. A lot of the time in relationships, people won't look for the love that's the best for them. They'll look for the love that's the most familiar, the love that they relate to the most, that makes the most sense. And there's not a lot that you can do to get around that until you love yourself in a way that's more familiar. You get more familiar with how truly standing on your own love and what that means and how that looks to you. Taking the time to really sit with myself and my own trauma and my own pain allowed me so much more understanding of the decisions that I was making that were self-destructive, and the decisions that I still make that aren't necessarily the most valuable choices for me. But instead of me saying that those decisions are bad, I understand that in the moment that I make them, when I was smoking weed, it wasn't that, oh, I just need this and I'm going to make this bad decision. I wanted to feel safe. I wanted to feel more secure in myself, and the feeling of dopamine hitting my system made me feel more safe, and it made it easier to deal with my present circumstances. And it wasn't until when I would feel that sense of anxiety and I decided that I was just going to sit and feel that pain authentically and understand that I don't need to use marijuana, cannabis, as a way to take away this pain, because this pain is something that my body wants me to feel in this moment. And as I feel the pain, it goes away, it dissipates, and I learn to love myself more. That is something that I would challenge you out there to do, is to lean into whatever pain that you have. Feel that wholeheartedly. and practice loving yourself through that pain. Do what feels challenging for your body to do. And I'm gonna pull up a clip of me from 3 years ago, and that way people can see the journey that I've been on. Enjoy. Hi, welcome to One Step. I'm LJ Jamming, and this channel is me creating something that I need. I need to make this channel. I don't know. I've been so ridiculously unhappy, unmotivated, and unproductive in my own life that I want to make videos that are going to help people out there that are like me, struggling to find any sort of purpose, any sort of motivation to even wake up in the morning, a reason to breathe, a reason to live, not just survive. I want to be in a spot where I can live uncomfortably. I take my problems and I push them away, and they just become bigger. And the more that someone doesn't deal with the problem, the more that you or I or whoever else doesn't deal with whatever problems come, pushing them down the line just makes them a bigger issue. Using unhealthy coping mechanisms like instant gratification, it's a big one. I cut out video games out of my life because I realized that I would spend weeks at a time cooped up in my room just playing video games, smoking weed, and it's just not a healthy way to live. Those problems that you push off, they don't go away, and the only way that they go away is if you face them. And the sooner that you wake up and you face your problems, the easier that they get. And just taking that one step to being a better you, that's the goal. And that's the main takeaway, that explaining this takeaway. But be a better you. Don't worry about comparing yourself to other people, because we're all running our own race. It's not about necessarily who's coming in first. I live in America. It's very competitive over here. Everything's about competition, and I'm not against that. But being the best you in the body that you have, that you're given, that's what's important. Doing the most with your body. I'm 5'5", 155 pounds. There's never any way that I could be the basketball great that LeBron James is. Right? I could never make it to the NFL and be an NFL quarterback like Tom Brady. But I'm me. I'm different. I have a different set of skill sets, and I can achieve things that are tangible for me. Making these videos and helping other people. You just have to go out and find what's good for you. What can you do to make yourself the best possible you? Once you figure that out, each and every single day, it's just about taking that one step and getting one step better, 1% better, each and every single day. Be sure to hit that like button, share, subscribe, and thanks for tuning in. Until next time, I've been LJ Jammin', One Step. We truly only appreciate where we are when we look back at who we used to be and where we've been. And now you might not really be appreciative of who you are in the present moment, but when you take the time to be intentional about your growth, and at the end of the day, when you look back on how your day went, and you say, was this the best way that I could have used my day? And the answer should almost always be no. But that's a great thing, because taking the present moment to reflect on how you're using that time, I changed my life when I told myself I'm not going to judge my days anymore as good or bad. That's way too turbulent. I started changing the way that I look at life when I say, you know what? I'm going to just look at my life in terms of decades. Because if I focus every day, every week, every month, every year on having a good decades, they're going to stack up. Pretty much impossible to miss, right? So now I just focus on having a good life, of appreciating all of the pain, all the adversity, all the setbacks. Because when the rewards come, they're fleeting. It's cool whenever you wind up getting the awards, but really, when it comes to getting to the top of the mountain, when you hike to the top of that mountain and you remember every step that it took to get there, you value it a lot more than if you just took a helicopter ride to the top and you're just like looking at the view. It doesn't mean as much. You got it easier. Be appreciative of every step that you're taking. If it feels difficult right now, it's a good thing, because there's going to be a time where you make it. When you make it to the top and you don't have another journey to take, you've already made it. And you reflect and you wish you were in the past where you were on this grind, where you had something to prove. And when there's nothing left to prove, what more is to be said? Much love to you. Take care.